Hello.
Hey, you there? How's it going?
Hey, I'm fine. So, dude, I hear you know a thing or two about movies. Is that right?
Yeah, it's right. So today, well, you know what? I let you introduce maybe the subject of today, because as a matter of fact, that you were the one that was talking about it the first time.
Yeah, I suggested it because it's not new per se. I think it came out like 3 days ago or something like that. But I don't know if you've seen it. I think you did. You did see the trailer for the new Justice League Zack
Yeah, I did.
Snyder cut, which
I
is
did.
finally out. The legend was true. It's coming out to HBO Max. It's going to be a 4 hour special based on the original film, which was completed by Joss Whedon after Zack Snyder left the project kind of quickly because of
Yeah,
a
because of the.
important family matter. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
and it was probably a very dark period for him, and basically the Warner Brothers decided to go with Joss Whedon,
Yeah.
which did the Avengers, to finish the cut, and we all know where that went. I think you've seen Justice League.
Yeah,
Personally, I think
I
it's
saw
kind
it.
of a miss. It's not the best. It definitely didn't hit the critical and public success. I even think it's kind of a financial bomb. Not too much, but sort of losing money still.
Yeah.
It was a big budget movie. So anyway, they're releasing this new version basically, which is going to be 4 hours long, as I said, 4 episodes on HBO Max, and it's based on the original film.
Four
But there
hours long.
are
That wasn't what I saw in the trailer. Maybe I wasn't
Yeah, no,
entirely.
it's four. It's gonna be a miniserie. Basically, it's 4 episodes of 1 hour. That's how
Okay.
they're planning to cut it.
Ooh,
And
shit.
there have been $70 million worth of reshoots in
Wow.
the entire
Yeah,
thing.
you told me
I don't
that
know.
before I saw the trailer.
Yeah, it's quite big. Reshoots are, of course, it's kind of it's a usual thing for big Hollywood movies. They do the film, then they show it to a small audience,
Yeah,
and then
and then
they
they do reshoots,
yeah,
like
according to
almost
what the small audience say. But
like almost every
usually,
time.
yeah, they but like 70 millions worth of reshoot. That's huge. That's freaking
Yeah,
huge,
yeah, bro.
and most of it is actually digital. You can see it
Ah,
actually when you watch the trailer.
digital reshoot. What you mean by that? Like reshoot on green screens or?
Yeah, so basically, you see, I don't know if you remember Steppenwolf, for example, the main bad guy, quote unquote.
Ah, yeah,
He
yeah.
has a specific design in the original Justice League, well, original the
Steppenwolf.
2017. Steppenwolf,
Isn't
Steppenwolf.
it's not
Yeah.
Darkseid
I
the
think it's
antagonist?
Darkseid's the main villain, but Steppenwolf is like his lieutenant
Ah,
or
okay,
something.
okay. Well, bro, I don't
Yeah,
remember.
he's like
I don't remember a lot about this movie, so I think, I think
yeah.
multiple time you'll have to remind me a lot of things.
So basically, he had a design, visually.
Okay.
He's full CGI, of course, but then they decided that they were gonna. They're completely remaking his design now, and he's completely different. He looks actually, I think, much cooler now. You saw it in the trailer, with
Yeah.
almost like with all the small metal pieces
Yeah.
all around him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw that, and that's one of the reshoots they did. See,
Okay.
and that's expensive. And
Yeah. I
yeah,
suppose. I suppose,
when you
and
saw, yeah,
obviously the first thing that strikes in this trailer is the format.
yeah, I was about to ask you actually, what
Yeah.
was the thing that shocked you the most,
Yeah,
or
I think it was.
like
I think it was that. Yeah. Well,
definitely for me too.
just
Yeah.
quickly before, real quickly before I start talking about that, I wanted to be a little candy bear before, but I hope Zack Snyder is okay and is feeling better after everything that happened. I think that's
Well, I guess
important to
he
say
is
that.
because
I guess
he
he
went
is
back to
because of
work.
that. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
he is because of that and because of all the reshoots. I think that was a movie more important to him than what we thought. So I think
Yeah.
he's better. And yeah, so yeah, the first thing that strikes is the format. I mean,
Which by format we mean aspect
yeah,
ratio.
the
I think
aspect
it's
ratio. It's so it the first movie was in
full frame,
full frame
I
and
think.
yeah, okay. Yeah, I
16
remember
by
that because
9.
I think what I heard is that it was Joss Whedon's choice
Yeah.
for the full frame.
Yeah,
And
which is actually pretty ironic because the original movie was shot in 133 4/3 actually.
okay,
So basically, they ended up cropping in, and
okay,
you can see that because in the trailer there are some shots that you can see actually in the original
that it
movie,
was
2017
cropped.
movie. Yeah, and you can
Yeah,
see
I remember.
basically. For example, there is this shot where Superman is coming through a circular door. You know, the
Yeah,
door is like a big circle, and in the 2017 film, the top of the door is actually kind of cropped. You know, it's
yeah,
cut off, but in
yeah.
the trailer, you can see that. You can see the full door.
And I
You know.
remember one of the thing I remember in the original version is that there were the like like an Avengers assemble shot, so it's more Justice League assemble shots like Joss Whedon used to do it in when he directed the first Avengers, and you can see
Mhm.
that for what I remember that when I saw the shot, I was like, yeah, that's almost the same shot as in Avengers, but less with the less good quality. So yeah, I kind of felt it when I first saw it. But the the thing is, I really love this aspect ratio, the 133.
Yeah, it's refreshing, isn't
I
it?
think that's my favorite one, just because I don't know, because I like small independent movies, maybe.
Yeah, it's actually quite surprising that
Yeah,
Forfeit is so refreshing because it's
yeah,
actually the
for a
original
superhero movie.
for movies.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, back in the day, then it was CinemaScope came in, and
Mm.
basically it was the standard for epic movies. And this is supposed to be an epic miniseries, and yet this is going for third, so
Oh,
that's
it's going to be
important.
it's going to be a mini series
Yeah, I told you. Yeah, it's
now.
for
Oh, sorry,
well,
sorry, I
technically, I
didn't.
think it's a full 4-hour film, but they're since it's for HBO Max,
Okay,
you know,
okay,
a
sorry, I didn't
streaming
hear that.
service, they're cutting it off.
Okay, so that's why
But
the 4 hours. That's like the
yeah,
mini series entirely makes the
yeah,
long
if you put
first.
everything back to back,
Okay,
it's 240 minutes
okay,
of runtime, which is
okay.
I don't remember how long was the 2017
The
film.
first one was something like 2 hours and a half. Not that
Hmm.
much. Uh,
Yeah, but we ignore how much was cut off from
mm,
the original shoot they had.
yeah. Yeah, and for what I remember, I really didn't like this movie. Well, first because I'm not really into superhero movies. That's the second episode where
Yeah,
we
we're
talk
still
about
talking about them.
superheroes, and I'm not really into it. So that's that's kind of ironic. So I'm not really stating anything about like the overall quality of superhero movies. I mean, that's really personal. But most of the time that's not really my thing, even though I like some of them. But I say that, and one of my favorite movies, Spider Verse. So again, that's kind of
Yeah.
ironic.
Yeah, you're really
Um,
contradictory sometimes. You say
yeah.
it's
I
not your
am.
thing, but yet you will always talk about it on this podcast, and then you love Spider Verse. You saw it twice,
Yeah.
once with me,
Oh,
if I remember correctly,
I saw it 3 times
in cinema.
in theater.
Three times in cinema. You
Yeah,
did. Oh my god!
I really
Thanks for
enjoyed
the
it.
free.
No, I'm
Yeah.
super weird. But for what I
No,
remember for
it
just
was really good to be honest.
yeah, it's amazing. But
Can't
for what
blame
I
you.
remember for Justice League, I didn't really like this movie. And to be fair, it's not really because of like it was that bad. It just because it was forgettable. And for what I can tell, I don't really remember a lot of about it. I remember the one of the Flash scenes because it looked like the Quicksilver scenes in the X-Men franchise.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes. Yes.
remember
Yes.
this amazing shot where you have the Flash starting to run, and you have a shot on Superman's head, and on his eyes when the eye turn and start
Oh
to
yes.
follow the Flash. This shot is quite amazing and epic.
Yes, I remember. It's at the end when Superman. Spoiler, by the way, it's 3 years old, so we don't care. But it's
Yeah, sorry.
where Superman turns bad, and they try to check. I mean, they try to fight him, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
not at the end. It's at the beginning.
Yeah, it's middle. I think it's
Yeah, it's
you're
in
right.
the
It's not
maybe in
end.
the middle, but even in the beginning, because for what I remember, it was
Oh,
quite.
yeah. Actually, you're just bringing it back to me. Yeah, I remember. He
Yeah.
goes super fast, and suddenly,
And
Henry
suddenly you
Cavill
have-
starts looking at him very menacingly.
Yeah,
like,
the slow mo and things, and I was like, oh, that is epic.
yeah.
That
I mean,
that
it's
made
still,
me
you know,
shivered.
yeah. It's we say like it wasn't perfect for sure. It was not. It wasn't Avengers levels of goodness, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, you reminded me of that, and I remember that I actually liked them fighting Superman more than I liked them fighting Steppenwolf, which I thought was a bit bland actually.
Yeah.
Although his
One
voice
of
was
the
nice, I guess.
one of the most forgettable scene was the big fight at the end, and I was like, I mean, I'm not really like against full CGI scenes, like not at all. I actually, because I really like CGI when it's done well. For example, I really enjoyed the last fight in King Arthur's. Did you see that movie from Guy Ritchie?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, the last one, the last fight is almost entirely in CGI, for what I remember. Well, for the most of the
Yes, you're
the
right,
most
actually.
impressive shots in the scene, but I found it really amazing, and it wasn't the case for Justice League. Like, and it's a shame because I know Snyder knows how to direct fight scenes, but again, it was a dark
Especially with CGI and
yeah, but it was dark times for him, so.
yeah.
To be really fair, I wasn't really angry about Snyder or anything. I'm not.
No, but
I'm not a big fan of everything he does. Like, I don't really like Man of Steel, for example. Yeah, and in the Justice League trailer, so that's why I think the miniseries will be interesting. The some fights, some parts of the fight scenes we see in the trailer are really a reminiscent of 300, and
yeah,
because
you
of
think so?
the slow mo, of course, but also because of
Oh,
like the camera angle and everything, like on the side of the actors, almost like a video game kind of shot, you know.
Yeah, we'll come back to that because I wanted to talk about the ending fight of
Yeah,
Justice League
tell me,
to
sorry.
put in contrast with what we see now. Because, well, you know what's funny is that I think I saw Justice League twice, and I think I fell asleep midway twice.
Oh,
So I have no memories of that end fight,
damn.
and it's not for lack of trying, but I think it's just so forgettable. I remember the fight with Superman actually quite well, but the fight, the big fight at the end against a real enemy, I guess, absolutely not. It's buried somewhere, but. Yeah, it's kind of weird when I remember Avengers, the last fight. I remember the Hulk part very well, you know, where he smashes Loki,
Yeah.
the first Avenger, you know, because I think it's the fairest comparison. I
think,
remember that very well.
I think it's a fair comparison, even though before Avengers you had something like 10 movies, for what I remember.
Build-up,
If,
yes.
if you count like Captain America's movies, Iron Man's
Two
movies,
Iron Man, yeah.
the Hulk.
Yeah, maybe not 10, but
You
something
had Thor.
close.
I think you had the first Thor before Avengers.
Yes. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So that makes, for me, yeah, maybe not 10, maybe something like 7 movies. And before Justice League, you had 3 movies, so that wasn't really enough. And they
Yeah.
already,
Well,
I mean, they already rushed a lot of informations in Batman v Superman.
Are you sure it
and,
was only 3 movies? There was
there were
Man of Steel, right?
Man of Steel, Batman v Superman,
And Wonder Woman. Yeah.
and Wonder Woman. I don't think Suicide Squads came out
Yeah,
before
it
Justice League,
kinda
but
counts.
but even though I don't think Suicide Squad would have make a difference.
No, no. But they actually, speaking of which, the Joker is said to have an appearance in the Justice League Snyder Cut. Yeah, he has been redesigned from what it's still Jared Leto. He actually went to the reshoots, but he changed design.
And and sorry, maybe it's out of the subject, but isn't it getting a little bit messy with the new Batman that is supposed to come out with Robert Pattinson?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, you're right.
This one, the trailer of this one.
Yes,
I don't really watch
Ben
a lot
Affleck, Yeah, because Ben Affleck's not Batman anymore.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't really
I
I don't really watch trailers a lot, but I saw the Batman once. I think it was last month.
Yeah, it is in fact Robert Pattinson playing portraying. Yeah, yeah, he's actually. Well, he's having a real career now, but it's so I think Ben Affleck isn't Batman anymore, but I see this whole Justice League Snyder Cut thing as more of a redo of the past.
Yeah.
Like this is a real thing, like just replace it rather than actually continuity-wise being New Justice League.
Do you know why Pattinson is replacing Affleck?
I don't, but I assume that Ben Affleck was done with the role. I mean, they always move on at some point, right? I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know, but I think they just moved on, I guess.
Yeah.
He was Batman for like 2 full movies, both movies going for about 3 hours. So I guess he was really done with it.
Yeah, well.
Maybe complications with the contract, who knows?
Okay.
I really have no information on this.
Yeah, well, if you compare it to the actors of the MCU, every one of them were there since the beginning and until the end of their characters.
They have like 5 movie contracts at least. It's
okay.
Samuel L. Jackson actually playing Nick Fury. He signed the biggest contract in Hollywood history for how many movies?
I remember that.
And they still they still had the guts to tease his death midway through his contract. Like, guys, okay, that's not we're not buying it. Okay, well that's. Parenthesis.
But to go back to Justice League, I think I will at least try the first episode.
Definitely.
Yeah, because I just want to see the Snyder's vision, the real Snyder's vision about this movie. And I mean, again, like superhero movies in 1:33 aspect ratio. That's really a big change. I think
you can't deny that. I'm also interested, but it's also supposed to like create a real link between the Batman versus Superman and Aquaman that came out afterwards, which was kind of lost in the 2017 movie.
Yeah, and I know I still need to watch Aquaman just because it's directed. No, I didn't because and I need to watch it just because it's directed by James Wan, and James Wan is one of my favorite director. But I didn't watch it because I'm not really into superheroes.
No, you should, because it's actually kind of. It's actually kind of interesting how it will maybe shock you in a way. Well, maybe not shock. It's a bit of a strong word, but it's really more, I want to say, Marvel-like in the way it's done.
Yeah, and there's hella CGI in it.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. The last actually I didn't sleep through this one because I remember the last fight quite well. It's underneath water, and you love that, and I think you're gonna love it. It's like 2 armies of dudes riding on sharks, basically, or something like that, and it's really entertaining. It's really good.
I never stated that publicly, but I love when movies are happening under the water. Just because you said it.
Big confession. Yeah, sorry, I kind of exposed you right there, but. Your love for...
That's why I love Bioshock too.
That's why you love what?
Bioshock, the video game series.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you should love that. And I don't have thalassophobia, but I've always been kind of scared of the deepness of the ocean sometimes. Like when you look
Yeah,
down,
me,
it's
I'm not, the thing is, I'm not really afraid of that. It's more fascinating for me. And
yeah. But did you know that thalassophobia was actually one of the most popular
yeah,
phobias?
yeah,
One of the
I
most
learned
widest
that.
spread?
You know what? I learned that few months ago, I think. I don't know if you saw this little thing that happened a month ago about videos about thalassophobia, like videos entitled um, like thalassophobic pictures with
Oh
scary
yeah.
Minecraft songs. Did you saw
Oh
some?
no, I haven't.
Did you see some
No.
of those kind of videos?
You know, that's weird. That sounds like something that should be in my recommended,
That's
but
super
I haven't seen
interesting.
those. Yeah, it's no. I kind of feel that in a way. Thalassophobia, which is thalassophobia is kind of the fear of water, but I think it's more like the fear of the deepness of the water. You know,
Yeah,
deep
it's more the
waters.
fear of not knowing what is
Yeah, what's
under the
underneath?
water.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
you have
that's
an even more specific phobia. The name is I think it's something like mechanico-thalassophobia or something like that. It's the fear of mechanic things under the water, like half under the water.
yeah. Whoa,
That's
dude,
very
that's actually
specific.
crazy.
That's very
Yeah,
specific.
I've always been scared of, when you go swimming in
Let
the
me check that.
ocean, something I did quite a lot. You know, there are like these lifeguards floating
Yeah.
balls, and they're actually tied to the floor by a chain,
Yeah.
a big chain basically to keep them in place. And when I was young, I was always terrified of touching that chain, that filthy chain. Like I was, ugh. That's
Me, I
so
love that,
specific, but
bro.
I was like, oh my god, that's fucking disgustingly gross and scary, which doesn't make sense because just a chain is literally inoffensive. But
Oh, I remember.
well,
It was super interesting for me. It was so fascinating.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I'm not really
it's
like I'm more afraid of things under the water when I see them. Like when I see a
mhm,
shark or something like that, I'll be like, okay, maybe. Well,
yeah,
now that I know a lot about shark and now that I know that there are more, for most of them, there are more dogs of the sea than what we think there are.
yes, yeah, no, no, that's
I don't think
scary actually.
shark is the best example, but if I see like I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh,
actually, sharks are not the biggest
no, no. But
predator.
if
I
I
think
see
it's more
like
like hypothermia, really. Like
yeah,
it's gonna kill you first.
yeah. How do you call this? How do you call this animal? Like a moray eel.
Ah, yes, there are a lot of poisonous shit under the ocean.
Yeah,
On the ocean bed, also, like, ugh.
and I can't.
Yeah.
So I can't find the name of
Yeah,
the.
moray eels. You're right.
I can't.
Or there's also a fish that has fins that are extremely poisonous too. Like,
Yeah. Mm,
it's quite impressive.
let me
No,
just.
honestly, now, thalassophobia or not, the oceans are full of
Sub,
interesting
su,
creatures.
it's submechanophobia. The
Submechanophobia, is
the
that what you
fear
were talking
of
about?
objects built by men, entirely or partially immersed in water.
Yeah, that's so weird because it's the kind
That's
of
super
phobia you
specific,
think
bro.
you're the only one having, But
Yeah.
then it's on Wikipedia, so it's so impressive. No, yeah, so yeah, Aquaman is not really giving me thalassophobia. Not like The Abyss. You've seen the James Cameron movie Abyss? I don't know
Yeah,
if
I
you
saw
have.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. Do you like it?
I
I
like
think it's
it, but
pretty cool.
I like it. It's a bit old now.
Yes, it is, but
But I like it. I have a little story about that. It's I before watching The Abyss from
mhm.
James Cameron, I saw another movie. Let me just check the name of this one. I saw yeah, okay. So that's more about a French thing, like little trigger warning, French. Uh, but I saw a film called Below. I don't know if you know that movie.
No, what is it?
Um, there is it's not really starring a lot of people. Darren Aronofsky produced it. I didn't know that. And
What is it?
there is Zach Galifianakis in it too. But it's
yeah.
called Below in English, but in French it's called Abîme, and I thought it was The Abyss. I thought it was
Oh.
the film from James Cameron. So I saw this one and I was like, there isn't any alien. I thought there were
Yeah, it's
alien
the-
in Abyss, and then I knew about the fact that it was a different movie, and I saw both of them. And Below
Yeah,
is
no,
interesting.
it's-
Below is interesting actually. It takes place in a submarine, and it's not really that like supernatural or anything. It's more psychologic. I think that's
Yeah.
why Darren Aronofsky produced it, because it's the submarine like has there's something happen. I don't really remember what, and then they are stuck under the ocean, and then they start to fight against each
crazy.
other and everything. So like usual thing that can happen in a submarine if everything goes wrong, But it was
But it's,
interesting. It was interesting.
So it's not really a scary movie.
No,
Because,
I mean for most of it, not really. I mean you have some. You have some slasher-like scenes when one of the little spoilers, sorry, but that's kind of like you can know that something like that it's going to happen in this kind of movie, but you have some slasher-like scenes when one of the crewmates is starting to get completely mad and tries to kill the other ones. But it's more about the the psychosis, like the psychology of people getting stuck in this kind of situation, how they behave with themselves and how they behave with the other humans,
Yeah,
I remember it was quite interesting actually. And you have Zach, and you have
it reminds me of another film actually.
and you have Zach Galifianakis. Oh my god, I'm so good at I'm so good with his name. And you have him being in a dramatic role, which is
Yes,
something that
because
we
he's known
aren't
for
really used
way
to
different.
see in a way.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Or maybe I don't know
remember
his
him being
career
very
well.
dramatic.
But yeah,
Was he
it's an
convincing?
interesting movie. Below by David Twohy is interesting if you like The Abyss.
Actually, while you were explaining the film to me, it reminded me of another horror movie this time, which is slasher-like, but it feels wrong to say that. But it reminded me of Sunshine from Danny Boyle. I don't know if you've seen Danny Boyle's
Yes.
Sunshine.
I didn't see.
You have? No?
I didn't see Sunshine.
You know, it's similar, but it's in space. It's about a crew of people that are basically driving a giant thermonuclear bomb into the sun because the sun is going to extinguish, basically. And
Okay.
they basically carry all the plutonium they found on Earth, and they're basically jamming it into the sun. And they have this big giant shield in front of their ship so that it doesn't burn instantly.
Okay.
And it's
yeah.
it's such a good film. It's such a good film because there are like so many. It's really psychological, actually, just like you said.
Yeah.
The other one, because there is a first mission that failed, and
Okay.
there's a second mission basically, and wow, so many things happen. There are
What
big
do-
twists.
What do they need to do with the sun? Sorry, did you say it?
Basically, the sun is emitting less and less light, so everything on Earth is getting colder and colder. And
Okay.
they can't live anymore. So it's really, we don't see much of Earth, like really. We just see people playing in the snow at some point.
Okay.
And they're basically jamming a giant nuclear bomb, everything they have, into the sun to put it back on full power, I guess. Full dimmer.
Put back the
dim it to
power.
max, 100%.
Turn on the sun.
Yeah, that's really, well, that's a bit unrealistic, but it's, I guess, but it's super interesting because, they have those spacesuits that are made to resist sun radiation. There's a huge spacesuit with just a letterbox to see through. And the cast is insane. You have people from all around the world, of course, because it's an international mission. So you have a Japanese guy, you have Cillian Murphy, I don't remember the name of the Japanese guy. Sounds bad when I say it, but
Yeah.
it's not Ken Watanabe, but he was. And there, I can't remember the other actors actually. I
Okay.
only remember Cillian Murphy. His name is Kappa. He's the main character.
Okay.
Remember?
Okay. I
And
think
it's
you know what, bro? I think
it's similar in that way,
I
but I think you're gonna enjoy it, and I think if you enjoyed the,
I know I
you're
have
gonna
to.
enjoy the film
I
too.
know I have to watch it, but I think I remember maybe I just saw one scene of this movie where there's um uh one of the crewmate that goes into the sun at some point.
Oh yes,
I,
he's outside the ship.
yeah, and I don't know if I don't know if it's the last
Oh
scene, but I
yes.
remember I saw this
No.
this
If
one
he's outside
scene.
of the sun, outside of the ship, that's not the last scene.
Okay, okay.
It's called it's the scene called Canada. What can you see? It's one of the most beautiful scenes in the movie where basically the Japanese guy called Canada. Probably a reference
To Akira.
Yeah, he
Canada.
basically goes outside the ship.
That's what.
And because he has to fix the shield in front, because if the shield fails, the entire mission just goes to dust.
Yeah.
So he goes outside and basically it's too late. So he sees the giant heat wave coming to him, and one of the guys in the ship getting crazy basically are asking him. Basically, they're yelling at him in the comms like, "Canada, what can you see? Explain.
Yeah, I
What can
remember
you
that,
see?" And
yeah.
he's just watching, completely unable to speak because it's so crazy. And then, well, I guess you can guess what happens then.
Yeah.
It's on the Adagio in D minor music that is starting to blast, and it's
Ah.
so crazy, man.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's not that much. It's not that much CG, but those kind of scenes actually really stick with you because they're so very well crafted.
Yeah.
And they're just so weird. Like, I mean, it's so insanely specific. But
And actually, I really love the directing of
Danny Boyle.
Danny Boyle. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's really good.
I
It's
finally
really good.
discovered 28 Days Later. And
Oh, yeah? I haven't seen
28
it yet.
weeks and 28 weeks later. Those two movies. The second one isn't directed by him, but and actually I kind of enjoyed it. It was maybe the one I enjoyed it the most. I enjoyed the most.
Blasphemous.
I don't know. But
Blasphemy.
yeah, those two movies and this franchise is amazing. I mean the scene in 28 Days Later with Cillian Murphy walking in the empty London.
Oh my God! Yeah.
This shit, bro. And
I don't know if you remember, they only had 30 minutes to shoot this.
Yeah, because they
shoot this.
were shooting it like really, really early in the morning in London.
Yeah, because you can't block London.
Yeah.
It just doesn't
You can-
happen.
oh, you
but I
obviously
guess,
can't.
but I guess he's Danny Boyle, so they did it anyway, and they had 30 minutes. Can you imagine the pressure
Yeah,
on
bro.
Cillian Murphy? Like, do not fail this, man. Like everything
Well,
has to be in order.
it's
That's
basically
crazy, man.
it's basically just him walking, so that wasn't really the most.
Yeah, but you say that, but you and I, we know that so many things can go wrong,
Yeah.
and when things shouldn't go wrong, they always go wrong. So I haven't watched the making of, but if there is one, I think this scene must have been.
I saw it.
I mean, just the
I
pressure.
saw it.
Man.
You
Wow.
have you have a little BTS of this part of the shooting, because I saw it on DVD, so I had some features with it. Yeah, you can see that. Actually, Murphy isn't that stressed out. It's more Boyle that is stressed out. Like it's like, okay, everything needs to be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's set up. Okay,
Oh my god.
camera
yeah.
action.
Also, yeah, I mean, the city has to look deserted, and London is never deserted, so
Yeah.
that has to be some work too. No, it's crazy. It's crazy, and I think it's a great accomplishment because.
And that's the thing. I think that's the thing with Danny Boyle. It's that it's in almost every movie he has done. There's always something impressive in one scene. Like you have that in the 28 Days Later. In Steve Jobs, you have the big scene when Steve is explaining a lot of things about his vision, and you have like motion design happening on the wall behind him and in the corridor he's in. You have that. You have sunshine for what you told me.
Yes.
What did Danny Boyle do?
I did
Slumdog
Trainspotting, I
Millionaire,
think.
of course.
Slumdog Millionaire.
Slumdog
Oh my
Millionaire,
god,
of
yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Every movie of Danny Boyle has something special, and
I think it has a horizon scene, a scene that is very crucial and easy to sell to,
yeah,
showing a deserted London is pretty interesting.
yeah,
And I mean, a spaceship just sells itself basically, but his movies have a lot of I think sell shock value without being like necessarily too in your face. It's just beautiful, I
yeah.
guess.
It's just, and that's a shame. I didn't really enjoy the last movie he did. If it's the last one he did, the one with even though the pitch is very interesting, it was it's Yesterday. And we didn't talk about Trainspotting too. Trainspotting is one of my favorite movie, and it's by Danny Boyle. Did you see Yesterday, the last movie from him?
Absolutely not. I did not. 2019. That's. I don't know about this. No.
And
Well, there's Ed Sheeran. What?
What? Yeah, there's Ed
No,
Sheeran
that's
in
not
it.
Ed Sheeran.
It's a movie.
That is okay.
What?
It is okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
So it's a movie about a guy that has an accident on his bike, like he's getting smashed by a car. And you don't really know why, but after this accident, everyone on Earth forgets about the Beatles except him. And it's like the screenplay is like, what if the Beatles didn't have the notoriety and the career they had, and what about someone stealing because the guy starts to take their songs, rewrite their songs, and entirely reproduce them, and he gets famous because of that, and he starts to work with Ed Sheeran and things.
Oh my god!
That's why you have Ed Sheeran playing himself in the movie, and it's a shame because everything seems so interesting, and at the end the result wasn't that interesting. I mean, car alarm. Can you hear that? No? Okay. No, it stopped. Okay.
So, but yeah, you know what's crazy? It actually reminds me of a film we had in France called I think Jean-Luc.
About Johnny.
About Johnny Hallyday, where he did not exist, and this guy basically comes to him, and he's just a nobody.
Yeah. So for the English speakers,
uneducated,
is for the English speakers. So if you don't know, Johnny Hallyday is one of the most famous rock singer in France.
Yeah,
I think he's known outside of France, but
he's actually deceased now. But and it's the story of this guy, and he wakes up like in a parallel universe where this Johnny Hallyday guy doesn't exist. The person still exists, but he's not famous at all.
Yeah,
like he's a nobody.
Yeah, and that's
he comes to him.
Same thing in Yesterday. Like the Beatles, they exist, but they aren't famous.
Yeah, so it really sounds like exactly the same film.
Yeah,
and he basically just pushes him into becoming Johnny Hallyday, like the star, the huge star, and I don't know if that's the same here, but. Yeah, it reminded me of that actually.
No. In Yesterday, you have a John Lennon scene at some point, but for most of the movie, he's just reproducing every Beatles song, and he uses them on his own. and then at the well, yeah, that
Okay.
the plot is interesting, but the movie isn't that much interesting, especially in terms of directing. You don't really have interesting scenes or anything. You don't really see Danny Boy's style in it, actually.
Yeah.
So that's a shame, but I understand why he did it. I mean, he's a big Beatle fan,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he even directed a little documentary about them, for what I
Oh
can
yeah.
remember.
No, that's true. You're right.
Yeah,
Or was it Ron Howard? I think you might be.
yeah, no, I think it was Ron Howard. Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No. 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 That's yeah. That's Ron Howard. But yeah. No. I think the last film he made that really hit the spot after before T2 Trainspotting was 127 hours.
Yeah, yeah, which
You
is an
know, with
amazing
James
movie.
Franco. Yeah. Really. Really tough movie, but
Yeah.
I remember seeing it. Yeah. Ugh. Some pretty hardcore scenes in it. Very gets under your skin.
Yeah, yeah, in a way, in a way.
No, he's really talented.
And yeah, and he's talented and he's versatile too. Like Trainspotting is about Scottish people doing drugs. Then you have Slumdog
Mm.
Millionaire about Indian people. You have 127 hours about it's an American in 127 hours, right?
Yes, I think
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh my God! He also did The Beach.
You
Do you
have-
remember that?
yeah, you have The Beach, you have science fiction with Sunshine, you have zombies
Yeah.
with 28 Days Later. I mean, this guy does so many things. It reminds me of what Steven Soderbergh does in a way, even though Soderbergh always has his kind of psychologic style outside of the mainstream things he does, like the Ocean's 11 and things. He always has a style that is like close to the experimental movie style in a way, you know.
Yeah.
That's
but,
not really something you can see in Danny Boy's style, I think. But the versatility is still there.
Yes. Yeah. I just didn't know. I just remembered that it's true. He did the beach, not
Yeah.
the film he's
I didn't
remembered
see.
for.
I didn't see. Did you see it?
Yeah, I did. It's. I think it's. Oh my God! It's very far. I saw it once. The story of the of people who travels to Thailand and they're like at some point they're on an island. I think on a solitary like island, and it's big tropical like Paradise Island stuff.
Yeah.
And there's Leonardo DiCaprio, and at
Yeah.
some point he fights a shark. Like that's all I remember. He explains it also. He comes back and he explains how he killed the shark through straight power of will. Like he said, "Not today, shark," something like that, and he stabs the shark. Well, it's actually really wild, man. You should see it. But
Yeah, I know. I need to see it. I know there's
it's not his best
video game
by far,
scene.
but.
I know there's a video game scene at some point too.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! Yes! Holy, yeah! Oh, that's yeah. Well, I just remember this now, but I honestly, I was just reminded of it now. But I remember Sunshine much better, and 127 hours and Slumdog Millionaire was so good. I remember seeing it in 2008 when it came out. It was just so nice.
Yeah.
Loved it much more than The Beach. Yeah, I think it's India too. India was interesting because
India?
they were really in there. Yeah, Slumdog Millionaire. It's in India.
Yeah. Sorry. No, I
In
thought you were
Mumbai.
talking about a movie called India, like in the.
No. But yeah, it was at this. The rise of Steadicam operators.
Yeah.
Basically, you could get your camera very thin, and so you had no problem, going super fast
Yeah.
speed in the in the slums of Mumbai, very fast, and that was so new.
Yeah.
I remember this movie. This movie is fun as fuck. Also, like it's it goes fast. Just got good music. There's even some bits which are choreographed.
Yeah,
you know?
that's always
Remember?
something that's always something quite interesting in his style. Like you always have like in Slumdog Millionaire, the first scene is the protagonist getting tortured, for what I remember,
Yeah, it has
I
to.
mean, that's
It's
so that's so dark for a beginning, and then you have
yeah,
this movie which is quite fun for the most of it,
yeah.
but
It's like a
deeply
road
you
trip
have
almost.
a study of the Indian TV industry
Indian culture, yeah.
and Indian
It's actually, yeah,
culture.
it's actually pretty true to, I guess, I guess what India is and what Indian films are, because the end scene I remember is a big choreographed in the train station,
Yeah,
on the music Jai Ho, where
yeah,
they
I
everybody's
remember.
dancing. It's sort of out of place in the film, but it's if you could just like enjoy it for what it is, and sort of like what most like a lot of Indian movies do,
Yeah,
and just go for it, just enjoy it. It's beautiful too, and that's something I also remember.
yeah, and for like about Indian movies, I know I have to see more Indian movies than what I already saw
Mm-hmm.
because I that's really an interesting culture. But I don't I yeah I haven't seen a lot of Indian movies. I saw Pi. I don't know if you know that movie. Uh, Pi, really interesting movie, like in multiple timelines. Super interesting movies.
Actually, that
Uh,
doesn't ring a bell,
but
but
there was I learned about
because I know Pi, the movie by I think it's Darren Aronofsky, right? He has a
yeah, but
movie
not
like
the same
this.
one. Yeah, not the same one.
Yeah. Okay.
And I know I heard about another another Indian movie recently. I can't
I
find
saw a
I can't find the name, but I know it's a trilogy, and it's kind of the Lord of the Rings, but with Indian culture and
yeah.
produced in India. That's
Yeah,
something.
because I've seen on Netflix they're releasing a lot of Indian movies right now. Maybe that's where you saw it. I don't know, but
No,
it's
no, someone told me about it. A friend of
oh,
mine.
okay.
Uh,
Is it choreographed too? Yeah, I guess it is.
yeah,
But
it is.
uh-huh.
Let me maybe I can find the name.
Yeah, because I know like people told me about some of the romantic movies that Indian people do, and there are lots of
Ba
trilogies too.
Well, I hope. Okay, I found it. I hope I
All
will
right.
pronounce it well, but it's Bahubali.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Oh, this one is. Wait, it's actually pretty famous, I
you know
guess,
this one?
right?
Okay, I didn't know this one, bro. It was
No, I know the name, but I don't think I've seen it. Well, how do you write Bahu? Is it Bahu?
Bahubali.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, the
you have
beginning, 2015.
let me check that.
First part. Yes, I think this is it.
The first one, The Legend of Bahubali. The first one, 2015. Okay, 2015. I didn't know it was that
Yeah,
that young.
I had seen this before. I had seen the overall. I remember the look of this actor of his armor.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I know there's I for what I saw little bits of the movie and of the trilogy. It seems really interesting, like an heroic fantasy movie in India that seems so interesting. Even though there's some little things that scares me a little bit because of the way the female characters are portrayed in India,
yeah.
and the
Well, it's
way
still.
romantic intercourse are portrayed in India. But that's a cultural thing. But yeah, for most of it, like especially the fight scenes again, because I'm a big fan of fight scenes. But the fight
Yeah.
scenes seem so well choreographed. Seems so amazing. Did you see the first one?
No, I didn't, but I've
Okay,
heard of it a lot. Actually, I remember the whole the overall look of it too, and
okay.
seeing the main character. It actually reminds me of something that I wanted to see at once, because I know that a lot of Indian movies actually works in trilogies too, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah. I think
I remember
yeah,
that most of them I think that I've seen on Netflix were romantic comedies too. I think that's what they do the most, if I
yeah,
remember correctly. Which is
yeah.
also what J-Ho was in a way.
The
J-Ho.
what? Sorry.
Slumdog Millionaire, sorry. I
Yeah.
remember what it was. It was also a bit romantic, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I need to see. I think I need to see more Indian movies, because yeah, like I can't really talk about those kind of movies really well because I haven't seen enough of them. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's
still very interesting. Still very interesting parts of the cinema industry, and I think we should see. And I think we should see even more Indian movies in Western countries.
yeah,
I
it's
think the problem is that we don't see them that much because they are so different from the way they conduct stories and the way they write stories is so different from our
mm,
way of writing stories. That's kind of the same thing for some Korean and
true,
Japanese movies and
true.
Chinese movies like Asian movies. But
Yes.
even though you can see that there's similarities, but not really in India. You really
Yes,
have this thing about dance and everything that you can't see a lot here.
yeah, they have their own codes in every country. Like, for example, I think what struck me the most with Korean movies mostly was the acting is actually way different.
Yeah.
From in Japan, it's actually a different type of acting,
Mm,
much less. Um, how do I say it? It's less. It's much more out there.
yeah.
Sometimes, and
It's
a
more,
lot
you don't
more.
have the this kind of theatrical style that you can see in the Japanese
Yeah.
way of acting,
Hmm.
but you still have, yeah, something that is really deep, not that much of emotions, but sometimes you have big explosion of emotion
Burst. Yes,
suddenly.
that's exactly what. Yeah, because it's not because it's theatrical. So you have a lot of characters which are basically toned down a bit. Very introverted, and
Yeah,
most of the Toshiro Mifune's character actually for Koza was one
yeah,
like this, I guess.
yeah, exactly.
Very introverted. But then I think it's all about the gestures and how it got really intense sometimes, and the yelling also said something.
Yeah, you have those so many times in Korean
Let's
movies.
just go 100% to, yeah, Japanese and Korean alike. Yeah, because I watched actually the season 2 of Stranger on Netflix, which is a Korean TV series, and it centers around basically adversities between the police and the procurers. I think it's the jurisdict in Seoul,
Sorry,
and
what's
at
the
the
name?
center
What's
of
the name?
Korea. It's called Stranger, literally Stranger.
Oh, I think I
It's with
saw it.
Dunabe, yeah, and it's really weird. Like the way it's done, it's very watchable, of course, for Western audiences, but it's also it has a lot of intricacies like that
Yeah,
I don't remember. I don't remember seeing a lot here.
yeah, I don't
But
think
the
so.
acting is definitely what struck me as being
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
Also
and I
now, like our movies on the Western world, they are like they're all actually being they're adapting themselves for the mostly the Chinese
yeah, exactly.
audiences, because Chinese in China, they're building a cinema every week, so it's like crazy. Yeah, it's crazy, man. They're making like so much money, and
Oh
basically
damn.
now like Hollywood is showing lots of interest in being. I want to say, because China has very specific rules when
Yeah,
it comes to movies,
yeah,
and when they do movies, what they like to do. It's not always cool, but it's always interesting to see how how movies are being basically kind of formatted to being watchable in China.
yeah. Yeah, and there is something oh yeah, just before I say that, I want to do a little shout out to Choi Min-sik too, the famous Korean actor. You know Choi Min-sik. He
Yeah,
stars in Old Boy.
he's
One of
the
my
old boy.
favorite.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I think one of my favorite actor.
Absolutely, yeah.
He's amazing. But for the Chinese movie, I'm going to be a little bit more political right now, but there's a little irony that about about the Chinese movies, not especially about the films that are produced in Chinese countries, but more about the movies that can be seen in China. You know, the rules that you were
Yes.
talking about. There is a lot of things that you don't have to cross if you want to be able to screen your movie in China.
Yeah.
And
You have to
especially
go through a checklist.
and especially you can't really have LGBT characters or anything.
Yeah, you can't, yeah.
And that's kind of ironic in a way because for what I've heard, I have some friends that are watching a lot of dramas and especially gay dramas. And for what they told me, the most interesting ones comes from China, actually. But
Yeah,
those,
well, if you don't show homosexuality and in your and LGBTQ in your films, I mean, people are bound to do their thing, you know. So
Yeah.
you know, they just do it well too. So
Yeah.
I mean, kind of yet another proof that censorship is just vain and useless.
yeah,
you know?
and you have an entire little world of gay and LGBT, like lesbian dramas
From China.
in China, like those kind of series that I don't even know if you can see them on TV in China, but
Probably
they're
not,
so famous
guess,
in
but-
Western countries.
Yeah.
They are so famous in the little world of the of the romantic drama, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's
the world
super
comes
interesting.
around.
When I discovered that, I was like, "Whoa! I didn't know about those kind of things." And I
Yeah.
already knew about the rules of China about movies that you can put out there. So I was it was weird for me to know that. I was like, "What the fuck?" I thought China was kind of the country where you can't really see those kind of things, but actually you can in a way. So that's interesting. That's super interesting.
Because recently Mulan came out, in
Yeah,
video.
yeah, and I didn't see it.
Me neither. I hear it's actually really not that good at all.
Okay.
But,
Oh,
there
it seemed nice. It seemed like a Choyak movies in a way.
Well, I actually recently realized that China is really big on like things they do, like kung fu, like this.
Yeah.
They're really prone to show this.
Yeah.
And I feel like it goes back. It goes way back, but I don't know if you remember the Karate Kid remake where he does kung fu. Surprisingly, with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan.
Yeah, the one with I was about to ask the one with Jackie Chan.
Yeah, because the original he learns karate, and then they did this one, and it was filmed in China.
Okay.
And basically, I was like, wow, this film could not be made today, because most of the bad guys are Chinese, and they get their ass kicked at the end. They're bullies and they get their ass kicked.
Bro.
So I was like, it's actually weird that China allowed this, because you have to have their authorization, but there's of course the good guy, Jackie Chan. He's the good guy.
Yeah, well, I think
he's basically the best version of kung fu. Not the violent one.
I think it was something about the time when it came out. It was a different time for China and for the world.
Yeah, China wasn't actually getting big in Hollywood as far as money goes, but I think nowadays you would not be able to make this film. First off, I think Jaden Smith would have to be a Chinese actor too, or something like that. But
yeah,
there's also Chinese films love to show kung fu defeating karate, people wearing gis, kimonos, white kimonos. Yeah. It's something that they love to do.
Yeah, because of the still ongoing little fight between Japan in
Yeah,
China.
yeah, that still goes on.
Yeah,
That goes
still
on. You know,
goes
it's
on
a
in a way.
war that has ended, of course, but still goes on in movies. You know, like
Yeah, you have
uh,
you. I don't know if you remember this movie that came out on Netflix
yeah, V
about
Wandering
the
Earth.
Earth,
I know exactly what you're talking
the
about.
Earth about to explode, where the only Japanese character was a dumbass.
Yeah, no, yeah, you know, it's more subtle than this. He wasn't a dumbass, but he dies for a stupid reason.
Yeah, he
You know.
dies for a stupid reason. Sorry.
But most importantly, in a Chinese film, the Japanese character dies, okay? Because apparently that's something that the studio likes to do because they think that's what the Chinese people want to see. You know,
Yeah.
they don't mind having Japanese in, but if he dies, it's actually good. It's actually cool. You know,
That's I
that's
think
what I've heard though.
I don't know
I
if I'm
wouldn't.
I don't know if I'm really like taking any part in this fight because it's not about like I mean it's too far away from us. But
Yeah, this is what I've heard. But
I think I saw way more Chinese characters in Japanese movies and especially Japanese animations that aren't really that badly represented for what I saw. Like you have, I remember there's a Chinese character in Negima. There's a girl just doing kung fu and she's badass and that's all.
that's cool.
And you have those kind of Chinese characters in Japanese
Like
animations.
I'm sure there are Chinese films with like good Japanese character,
Yeah,
Japanese
I'm
character
sure
portrayed in a
too.
good way and
Sure too.
in an interesting way. But yeah, you know the trifecta between Korea, Japan, and
Yeah.
China. It's not always been a walk in the park. You know,
Yeah.
they have. Sometimes I want to say they have reasons to hate each other. Not really anymore, but well, still. Okay, and you know it's this type of resentment that you can when you can still feel it in the culture that they put out.
Yeah.
You know, it really shows that the memories are still going on strong.
Yeah,
You know,
they're still
it's
there.
not about being. It's not about their history. It's about something more.
Yeah.
Payback almost. Yeah, it's actually pretty. Google Nanking massacre if you want more information on the matter.
No, I know about that, bro. That's
I was there.
I was
Hopefully,
there, and I did Vietnam too.
wow. So it's kind of funny how you're in every big massacre. It's almost like
Oh my
every
god!
time
You
there's
imagine
dead
this horrible
people.
the guy the horrible life like the guy is every time on a somewhere
Yeah.
where there's a massacre.
It's horrible for him, but plot twist: what if he is the one?
He
creating
is the one.
massacre?
He's the devil.
Yeah.
He's Machine Gun Kelly.
Every time there is a massacre, he's there. Surprisingly, it's like the CIA.
Well, we arrive at the end. That makes an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
We started on
went
Justice
all
League
around
and
the
we.
world, man.
Sorry.
We went all around the world. We
Yeah.
went from the USA through France back to India
Yes.
and then all the way to Asia. That's
Starting
a full
from-
circle.
Starting from Justice League, that was really interesting.
Yeah. Do you have something to say about California to complete the circle, maybe?
It's overrated. That's all.
Okay. That's
No, I don't.
all
I
right.
never went
so
to California.
We're
though,
pissing
so-
off China, Japan, now California. we're just gonna get beheaded.
Yeah, no, I never went. I never went to California, but I need to go there at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hopefully it's not overrated,
Let's
as
wrap
you
it
said.
up. Thank you very much.
Thank you
And
too.
Let's see each other next time. Again, if you have suggestions, you can ask them in the comments if you want. That we'll be glad to hear them and try to talk about movies or books or anything you want us to talk about. You can ask.
Alright.
Thank you very much, Leo.
Thank you too.
And see you next time.
Yeah, still excited for Justice League still come.
Yeah.
And I guess 2021 we'll be watching that.
Same.
And we'll tell you what I think about it. Anywho,
Yeah.
bye.
Bye.